At 16, I wanted to sleep with Julie Andrews. At 18, I wanted to beat Barry Sheene in the British Motorcycle Grand Prix. And at 20, I wanted to play cello with Jeff Lynne's Electric Light Orchestra. Now at 72, I just want to get through my final few years and mop up a few things that I might not have done in the past. I'm not here to change the world. I'm not here to do anything dramatic. I'm just here to make sure that when I finally close my eyes, I'm not thinking, I wish I'd. And I think we should all aim to achieve that goal for no other reason that nobody wants to shuffle off this mortal coil thinking, I wish I'd. Achieving goals in life should be easier rather than harder. I mean, there are people who really do aim for the moon and give it all they've got, and that is very, very commendable. Much of that will be financial. It will be about building businesses, making money, employing people, returning that money back into the system to make the whole thing work. And that's all well and good. But to do things in life, all you have to do is do things. Set yourself little goals to do each day. Because if you go through life without setting yourself little goals, you run the risk of just getting through life rather than living life to the full. Because that full doesn't have to be taxing or dangerous or risky to yourself and your family and your finances. It just has to be little goals. Set yourself. You don't have to put, there's this myth that you have to push yourself to extremes to consider yourself successful. Successful is just a place in your mind. It's just a state of mind. I always say to people, I've considered myself successful because I'm happy. And okay, that might be a low bar to other people, but it's my bar. It's the one I've set myself. And that means that in my own skin, I can say at the end of my days, well, that was all right. I'm quite happy with that. I'm not bothered about going now. Thank you very much. I didn't waste that. For to waste your life doing nothing and achieving nothing, even though those nothing, it might just be tiny little goals that you set yourself, to risk shuffling off and looking back and thinking, well, I did nothing. I just sat and spent 70, 80 years doing nothing. What a waste of time that was. But you don't have to do a lot. It's not like the difference between success and failure in life is climbing Everest, starting a multi-billion-pound business, being a pop star, being a rock star, being a film star, being a porn star. It doesn't matter. It's not about that. It's about setting yourself your little goals, because otherwise you are running the risk of setting goals to show yourself into the public. You are setting goals to make yourself look good for other people, to get approbation of other people, to get pats on the head of other people. It's not about other people. It's never about other people. It should never be about other people. Bugger other people. Just do everything for yourself. Set these little goals for yourself. What can I do? What can't I do? There's very little. I can't really get out much. I can't do this. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll aim to read a chapter of a book a day. That's my goal. I'll aim to do a couple of hours gardening a week. That's my goal. I'll aim to learn a foreign language, be it just a greeting or fluently. That's my goal. I will learn a foreign language, and then whatever you end up learning, that's successful because you didn't know it before. So if you set out to learn a foreign language and all you do is learn a few greetings and how to order a cup of tea or a beer or a piece of cheese or whatever, that's fine. That's fine. You didn't know it before, did you? So you've achieved something. It's an achievement. Life is an achievement. Life is about achievements, and they don't have to be massive achievements. I've not achieved anything that in societal eyes may sound like a success. I've been a disaster at all the jobs I've had because I've just wanted to do what I've wanted to do. So I've packed one thing in and gone and done another. Never made a great deal of money. Never wanted to make a great deal of money. But I've been happy and I've done what I've wanted and I've achieved little achievements. I will climb that fell in the Lake District. I will do it, and I've gone out and done it in all kinds of weather, and it's been great, and I've loved every minute of it. Little goals, little achievements, that's all it takes. You get up in the morning, you go to work, or you spend all day sitting on the couch. Then you come home from work in the evening, and you get off the couch, and then you spend a few hours before you go to bed. Then you rinse and repeat, and you do this 5 days a week, or 6 days a week, or even 7 days a week for some people, for 50 years. From your early 20s, your late teens or your early 20s, right up to your mid-60s, your 70s and beyond. And that's what you do. So setting little tasks in that time so that you don't just sit in the evening exhausted after a day of watching Heartbeat and eating chocolates or going to work and grafting your guts out, and you sit there in the evening too exhausted to do anything, and then you go to bed, rinse and repeat. And you've only achieved what society expects you to achieve. You've gone to work, great, and you've done your best at work, great, very, very commendable, but you need to set yourself little tasks in the evening, because the feeling of well-being, when you do something, even if it's just, I will read a book, I will learn how to knit, and you spend an hour, half an hour in the evening learning something. I will learn how to oil paint, I will learn how to water paint, I will learn how to write prose and poetry, and I'll learn how to cook. I will become a famous chef. Whatever your little goals are, they don't have to be much, but they make so much difference to your day. In the evening, when you go to bed in the evening, if you go to bed, if you come home from work and sit there and do nothing and watch the television and then go to bed, what have you done? If you come home and think, right, I'll read a chapter of that book, I'll just learn how to knit, I guarantee that you will go to bed with a greater feeling of achievement. You tax yourself a little bit in the evening. You will probably sleep better. You'll sleep better because you will have achieved. There will be no remorse. You won't be thinking, oh, I'm wasting my life. I'm going to work. I'm coming home. I'm sitting on my ass and I'm doing nothing. I'm going to bed. You will have achieved a little something and you will sleep better. I can tell that because I've experienced that. Because I've always had little hobbies for no other reason than it's just what I do. I have one of those minds that just needs things to be doing. If I sit, and I don't watch television, I only watch YouTube, but if I sit in the evening and do out nothing, after about half an hour I'm going mental and I'm beating myself up saying, what are you doing, Nigel? Do something. And then if I go to bed, I lie in bed, I'm actually disappointed and I don't want to sleep because I've not done anything to mentally exhaust myself or mentally tax myself. So little things in life, little goals. I will read that book. I will finish half of that paint by numbers. I will finish half of that jigsaw. I will learn how to knit one pearl one. I will learn how to crochet. I will learn how to do a bit of woodwork. I will get my Dremel out and learn how to make small models that may or may not be any good. But I've done it with my own two hands. And that's all it's about. That's all it's about. Because otherwise, you may run the risk of going through life not really doing anything. And then at the end of the day, you think, life was crap because it was just about going to work and coming home and going to bed. That, ladies and gentlemen, is our choice as humans. We can choose to do that, and at the end of the day, we can choose to say, that was rubbish because I basically just went to work for 50 years and did nothing. That's up to you. Don't cry about it because it takes so little. Go for a walk. Go to the local hill at the weekend and walk to the top. Learn how to do landscape photography. Learn how to paint that view. Learn how to sketch that view. Learn how to write poetry about that view. Learn how to write prose about that view. See what I've done? I've taken a hill, a small hill, a view, and made it into so many possibilities to occupy your time and your mind. Little tasks, small tasks. Learn how to cook simple meals, and then you will have such a feeling of gratification and self-worth. Little things, little tasks in life, that's all it takes. Not everybody can be J.K. Rowling sitting in a cafe in Edinburgh penning Harry Potter, and not everybody can be Brian Cox sitting in a Manchester University thinking about quantum physics. We can all be Joe or Joanne Bloggs going about our little life, doing little things, but achieving just as much as they have on our own level. You set the bar and that is your standard. Just because somebody's got the brain the size of a planet doesn't mean that their achievements are any greater than yours, because we all have to cut our cloth. We all have to work within our boundaries. Be proud, accept your boundaries. I've accepted mine. I'm no bloody genius. I'm never going to do this, do that. I'm no Brian Cox. But I know what I can do, and I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm rubbish at, and I set my cloth accordingly. So the little tasks are just as great within your little universe as they are within any genius's little universe. You can achieve as much as Einstein in your little universe just by doing little things that bring you joy, bring you gratification, and make you proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself. I think that's one of the things, isn't it? We've got to go through life and we've got to be proud of ourselves. Don't be ashamed of yourself. I think there are people go through life, there are many people who kind of feel ashamed of themselves because they've not achieved what they want to, or they've done things that they're not happy about and ashamed about. But just try to achieve little things within your little universe. And that's all the world expects of you. That's all nature expects of you. That's all your Uncle Nigel expects of you. Make me proud. We're encouraged from an early age to reach for the stars. But what if we reach and come away disappointed? How does that affect the way we aim for goals in the rest of our lives? How does that put us off trying to achieve things? By all means, reach high if that's what you want, but don't come away disappointed if you never sleep with Julie Andrews, or beat Barry Sheene in the British Motorcycle Grand Prix, or fail to play cello with Jeff Lynne's Electric Light Orchestra. Doesn't matter. Those things don't matter. Some people achieve those things, and that's great and good for them, and pat on the head. But that doesn't make them any more successful in life than you. Success, as far as I'm concerned, is gauged by how happy you are, how fulfilled you are, and how at peace you are throughout your life, but especially later in life, when you've got the time for reflection. And when you've got the time for reflection, you need to look back with happy memories, not at regrets, not at too many regrets. We've all got little regrets, but not at too many. Look back and think, yeah, that was all right, I enjoyed that, and I've done what I set out to do. I can now sit and enjoy myself, stroll around and enjoy myself with no guilt, no regrets. Not major regrets anyway. There are a myriad of goals to set yourself, millions upon millions. Everyone's an individual, and everyone will set goals that are more tasking to you mentally or physically than the next person. But it's an individual thing. Do never be judged. Never regret. Never feel like you're a failure because you're not got your name in a star on Hollywood Boulevard. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. And for the most part, people who achieve that kind of greatness are under greater pressure, under greater societal pressure, under greater peer pressure, under greater mental pressure, and probably, from what I can see anyway, don't seem to live much of a fulfilled life. They always seem to be on social media moaning about how unhappy they are and what stress they're under, and having all this money is a curse. Give it to charity. That's what I say. Success is a feel-good sensation, so just set yourself little goals every day and just imagine over time how much feel-good you're going to achieve. How much feel-good sensations. Isn't that great to think you can go out every day, to think you can spend time every day and get a little feel-good sensation that will build up into a huge feel-good mountain throughout your life. And isn't that an achievement? What did you do in life? I felt good. Fabulous. And on that note, we shall see you on the flip. Peace and love.